All right, welcome into Prize Picks on 5 on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. I'm Ethan Skolnick. You can follow me at Ethan J. Skolnick at 5 Reasons Sports. I got David Eversole. You can follow him at David W. Eversole. Make sure that you download the Prize Picks app from the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store, or PrizePicks.com. Use code 5, FIVE. You get your initial deposit matched up to $100. Again, you don't need to play it all at once. We do recommend putting down as much as you can, close to 100, because they're only going to do the match one time. Of course, there is no rollover, so this is free money to use right away. And of course, you can play it on all the different sports. You want to pair something on the NFL with the NBA tonight, you can. But we do want to focus on the NFL game. It's a pretty good one. I don't think one people necessarily anticipated prior to the season when Jordan Love was given the reins to the Green Bay Packers. But the Packers in San Francisco against arguably the most talented team in the league that also happens to be a well-rested team. Let's go through it first on the San Francisco side. Would you play Brock Purdy tonight, David?
It was funny. I actually looked at his rushing yards. It was only at 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he could maybe get one or two scrambles there and get over that number. So if I was going to just kind of take an easy play on him, I would lean towards that. You have the Goblin play at over 1.5 TDs, which I think, that should probably just be a straight line. I don't feel like that's anything remarkably easy or hard. I think, he's kind of been, pretty consistently at 2 touchdowns and above.
Yeah.
So that's one you could maybe feel pretty safe about. Perhaps the pass completions at just 21. He's kind of been low, but this could be a little bit more of a passing type game because Green Bay I feel like is going to be able to put up some points.
Well, I feel like they've scaled some things back here over the past couple of weeks, and it became clear that they were going to be the 1 seed. So I could see the completion numbers going up. I probably would stay away from him. I also would probably stay away from McCaffrey. I was looking, obviously, like McCaffrey's been a guaranteed touchdown during the season. I mean, you see the numbers here right now. Rushing, receiving touchdowns. They got it in between, basically. You can play the Goblin on the 1.5. The Demon is on half a touchdown. Again, he's usually good for one. The 92.5 rush yards, I don't know. I almost feel like I would take the rushing receiving yards with him. The Aaron Jones, Chris McCaffrey play, you were just on it.
Yeah, this one here.
Yeah, that one there.
The full combo play.
Yeah, everything. That's basically throwing it all in together. The receiving, rushing yards, and both guys together. Would you play that over 219.5?
Maybe. Honestly, yeah. I mean, Aaron Jones, he could get 100 yards rushing. He's been doing really, really well the last 3 weeks. But San Francisco's defense isn't really like anything Green Bay's faced so far.
Yeah.
So I would maybe stay away from that. For McCaffrey, the only thing that I probably like would maybe be over the 32.5 receiving yards. Mm-hmm. Seems like the one favorable number, or if you want to be conservative, you could play the over the half a touchdown on the easy play here with the Goblin.
Yep, I would look at that as well. I'll tell you what I liked on the San Francisco side. I looked at Debo. His numbers have been down of late. We know that they kind of go as he goes in terms of the outside passing game along with Ayuk. But, Debo could break 1 or 2. 16.5 rushing yards feels pretty good. That's the one that I would look at with him. Again, only gone over 1 of the last 5. It takes him to break 1. They have run some gadget plays in the playoffs. I feel like Debo could get some rushing yards that way. But the one I like is George Kittle, 4 receptions. Teams tend to target the tight ends a little bit more in the playoffs. Purdy's going to look for a security blanket. I feel like 4 receptions is pretty safe. I was not as comfortable with the 54.5 receiving yards, but I would play him as a third down target today and go over on him. And on the Green Bay side, look, I'm going to play Jordan Love. Like, I don't know which of the receivers to play. They tend to target a different one every week. But 251.5. Yes, San Francisco's defense is very good, but they've had some problems on the back line with injuries. As long as he stays upright, which, again, is an issue against the 49ers, he's going to get the attempts, and I do think that they're going to be trailing, and I do think he's going to put up yards. So I would go 251.5 today over on Jordan Love. Anything you'd play on the Green Bay side?
Well, I would take Love maybe over on the completions at 23. Mm-hmm. But on Green Bay, Jaden Reed, he's kind of one of these sneaky guys that flies under the radar. At 40.5 receiving yards, he didn't have a straight reception play. He has 5.5 targets or 40.5 yards. I went with Reed over 40.5. I always think it's interesting, guys coming off a goose egg. You feel like they want to get them a couple early looks. So obviously 0 yards last week against Dallas, but you looked at the productivity in the 3 games leading up to that. I like him over 40.5. And they're running a discount on Luke Musgrave. It's not a goblin play. It's just a straight. They're giving you 48% off basically at just 10.5. So that's a good add to any of these lineups that you're putting together. So definitely throw that in the mix. Luke Musgrave. That's good till 7 o'clock. So you got about 45 minutes left to get in on that.
Okay, I like that one as well. 10.5 receiving yards to play that one. So use the code FIVE. Get that initial deposit matched up to $100. Again, that's the way to play it. Go to Google Play Store, the Apple App Store, or PrizePicks.com. We'll be back before Sunday to play more of that together. 2 games on Sunday, obviously, and then a Heat game Sunday at 6 o'clock. Have a good one.